Welcome back to the Political Pulse 2.0. Last night's debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris was one for the history books. Both candidates had some powerful moments, but there were also some major weaknesses exposed. So, who came out on top? Let's break it all down. Let's start with Trump's strengths. First, his stance on border security. It's no secret that many voters see him as the stronger candidate on the issue. His promises of tougher border control resonate with a significant portion of the electorate who believe he'll be better at managing immigration. Additionally, he managed to position himself as a candidate who could bring about a quicker resolution to the ongoing Israel-Palestinian conflict. His administration's previous dealings in the Middle East gave him some credibility here, and he leaned into that. But let's talk about Trump's weaknesses because they were glaring last night. His biggest misstep? Abortion. When asked about it, Trump completely floundered. He tried to push the issue back to the states, saying he wanted to protect women's rights by leaving it to state governments. But honestly, no one's buying that. It felt as believable as Kamala Harris claiming to be a border hawk, and the crowd knew it. According to a March 2022 Pew Research Center poll, the majority of Americans, around 61%, are pro-choice and wished abortion had remained a federally protected right. Trump's handling of this issue didn't just feel disconnected, it seemed outright tone-deaf. By overturning Roe v. Wade, Trump has energized voters who feel that this issue is reason enough to vote against him and for Harris. Another major weakness for Trump was his lack of specificity. Every time a question came his way, he acknowledged it but quickly pivoted to respond to Harris's accusations. This suggests a lack of focus, and worse, a lack of discipline. He spent most of the night on defense, which isn't a great look for a former president. Now let's talk about Kamala Harris's strengths, starting with abortion. She absolutely dominated Trump on this issue, making it clear that his decision to undo decades of settled law was out of step with the majority of Americans. Harris framed herself as the candidate to restore women's rights, and it resonated strongly with viewers. Harris also set some pretty effective traps for Trump last night, and he fell for them every single time. First, on healthcare. Harris pressed him repeatedly on his lack of a healthcare plan, and Trump ended up admitting that he didn't have one. He even suggested continuing parts of the very Obamacare plan he spent years criticizing. Second, she baited him into defending his handling of abortion, which only highlighted his vulnerability. And third, on the Israel-Palestinian conflict, Harris suggested Trump's approach was inconsistent, vague, and Trump fumbled, shifting topics without a clear response. Harris's ability to be specific really stood out. Whether it was citing statistics, explaining policy meetings, or outlining clear plans, she made Trump look vague and unfocused by comparison. On healthcare, she pointed out that Trump had no alternative to Obamacare, exposing a huge gap in his platform. That said, Harris wasn't without her weaknesses. Her record on the border remains a major liability. No one believes her tough-on-border stance when her own administration has struggled with immigration issues, and her attempts to position herself as a staunch ally of Israel didn't seem to resonate despite her claims. Voters don't seem convinced that she has the experience or strategy to manage these complex global issues. So, who won last night? In my opinion, Harris took the win. She was sharp, prepared, and exposed some of Trump's most glaring weaknesses. Trump floundered on key issues like abortion and healthcare, and he spent most of the debate on the defensive. Harris laid out specific plans, while Trump largely spoke in generalities and fell into the traps Harris set for him. But what do you think? Was this debate enough to sway undecided voters, or did both candidates fail to make a strong case? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more election analysis right here on the Political Pulse 2.0. Thanks for watching. Thanks.